Hey everyone, my name is Mitchell again from the Mormon Defenders, and I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to do this video over a couple of days, so you may see me change outfits or whatever, because it is quite a big subject, and it's going to be about DNA versus the Book of Mormon. And I did have a couple of things to bring up right off the bat, basically to tell you the position of the people refuting the Book of Mormon through DNA evidence. They are saying that Mormons have always believed that the Native Americans are of Jewish descent, and because of recent DNA evidence proving or showing, and when I say proving, it's not necessarily proving because we are still in the infancy of DNA testing. An official scientific study has not been conducted as to prove the validity of the Book of Mormon using DNA evidence, and no NSF funding has been created for it, and there is no official study ever going on. So the proof of the whole the thing really isn't there. But what I'd like to get into is just a little bit about that. First and foremost, we have to understand the anti-Mormons are taking a position of Mormons believe that the Native Americans are of Jewish descent, and that's it. They're saying that Lehi, the Jaredites, and Mulek are Jewish descent. Those are the first and foremost. Where do they come up with this stuff? I mean, there may be a couple passages, but they're just making predictions based on really bad ideas. I have a couple quotes here just to state our position from way early on. For example, in 1929, Anthony W. Ivins of the First Presidency told Latter-day Saints, and again, this is 1929, way before DNA evidence. We must be careful in the conclusions that we reach. The Book of Mormon teaches the history of three distinct peoples, or two peoples and three different colonies of people, who came from the Old World to this continent. It does not tell us that there was no one here before them. And that's key. Nowhere in the Book of Mormon do we claim or say that there was no one here before the Lehi came across the sea, before the Jaredites made their trip, and Mulek also. So, continuing on in the quote, it does not tell us that the people did not come after. And so if discoveries are made which suggest differences in race origins, it can very easily be accounted for, and reasonably, for we do believe that other people came to this continent. So, come on, 1929, they're coming up and saying that, look, we believe that other people from other races and origins other than just Jews, and I mean, imagine if a band of 10 people come across that are of Jewish descent, which isn't even true. They're from the tribe of Manasseh, and we'll get into that later, and we'll talk about Lehi's descent and genetics. But just imagine 10 people come into a place where millions of people already exist, and they're going to make a genetic impact? Come on. Okay. Here's another one. 2 years earlier, 1927. Students should be cautioned against the error of supposing that all American Indians are the descendants of Lehi, Mulek, and other companions. He said it was not improbable that America has received other immigrants from Asia and other parts of the globe. Wow! 1927. Guess what? We're already predicting that people of native descent, the American Indians, are from Asia. Man, we're so far ahead. 2003 DNA evidence shows that, guess what? Book of Mormon, people from Native America are from Asia. We knew that in 1927. Come on, guys. In 1938, here's another quote, William Burritt and Milton Hunter and others produced a guide to the study of the Book of Mormon as a study guide for the Church Department of Education. This book indicated that the Book of Mormon deals only with the history and expansion of 3 colonies which came to America and does not deny or disprove the possibility of other immigrations, which probably would be unknown to its writers. Again, that's a great one. How would the writers of the Book of Mormon know where all of these previous people came from? I mean, the previous people, if they've been there for generations, probably didn't know where they came from. Okay. The argument of silence bears some weight in okay, let me back up. This is actually from Joseph Smith. Okay. The argument of silence bears some weight in considering the possibility of other sheep. When the Jaredites journeyed into a land where there never had man been, and that's from Ether 2:5, referring to a portion of the journey in the old world, our history finds that the fact worthy of note. Even though the part was only passing through, now there is a great deal said in the Book of Mormon about the past and future of the Promised Land, but never is it described as an empty land. The descendants of Lehi were never the only people on the continent. The Jaredites never claimed to be. Okay, so Joseph Smith is saying, right off the bat, that the descendants of Lehi were never the only people on the continent. So, once again, if a band of 10, 15, 20, let's even, heck, 300 people, 500 people came to a place where millions of people lived, would we see a genetic impact? Absolutely not. And we'll talk about the science of that in the next version of this video. But I just wanted to bring that up really quick, just talking about how we already knew